This is coming to you from John Wayne's 26 Bar Ranch in Eager, Arizona.
Well, we're back, and we have a guest here. This little lady was on about a year ago. Her name is Nancy Matsui, right?
Right.
Matsui, is that the
Right.
proper
Great
pronunciation? And Nancy is going to show us how to do Japanese food. We had you on, what, about a year ago, maybe?
Seems like about a year ago.
About a year ago. And she did something that time that most of us really didn't know how to make up. And I think at that time we made sushi.
Sushi with that Western touch, the
Oh,
green
yeah,
chili.
with the green
Yes.
chili in it, sure. Well, today I'm not going to mess up your food for you. I'm not going to make you put chili in your food.
We could, but
Yeah,
we won't.
okay, all right. What we're going to do is we're going to get started right now because we do have a lot to do today. Because when Nancy comes on, we've got to really move because she's got lots of stuff. You know how pretty the Oriental food is anyhow. Give us a little lesson on how we're going to use this little gohan pot here.
Okay. Gohan is actually the word for rice in Japanese. And no Japanese dinner would be complete without rice.
That's right.
And this is the electric cooker that's probably been around for 15 years now. And there's deluxe models.
Yeah, this is an old one. I've had this for 20 years.
So
Here.
this is Bill's model, so. But the Japanese cook with a rice that is a short grain, and it's a fatter grain.
Right.
And you will find that it's a little stickier, but that's the character of the rice.
That's right.
And
well, it makes it easier to pick it up with the hashi, too.
Yes.
Yeah, the sticks.
And the Japanese cook the 1 cup of short grain rice with about 1.5 cups water, and that's good for a 2-cup recipe or a 3-cup recipe.
What do we have going
and
here about?
We have 2 cups here.
We've got about 2 cups here, and so we have about how much water in this?
3 cups.
We've got 3 cups. You're going to get this started now then, huh?
Right, and this will yield about 6 cups cooked rice.
Yeah.
And we'll plug it in. We push down the little button here.
Well, we're going to have to hook it up first here,
we'll
and we've got you a place to hook it up right back there. I'm going to let you hook that up. Now, let's see. Is there anything else we need to know about this? Oh, we had to wash it, remember?
Right. We
okay.
had, the Japanese coat the rice with starch for preservation reasons, and then we wash it through about 3 or 4 times, and it's important to soak the rice to get it more tender.
You know, my wife told me that the last time I cooked my gohan, I didn't soak it, and she told me that I had made a mistake, so Nancy knows what's going on here.
It's not as tender.
Nancy, plug that in over there, and I'll try to get things going over here so that we can get started on this. We're going to do what now? Let's see. What's the first thing we're going to do?
We'll start with the cucumber salad, which is a popular item. It's called sunomono.
Sunomono.
Good.
Aha.
And there's a few ingredients that we'll be working with.
All right, you just get started now.
These are the cucumbers that they were first peeled.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're sliced.
Yeah, see how she leaves just a little bit of the green outside on that? See how pretty that is when she does that? She leaves a little bit of that green outside on there.
And to get them uniform, it's nice to have a slicer. And this is a Japanese slicer. It does not have a safety guard, so you have to be careful.
You have to be really careful with those.
The screw on the back elevates and lowers the
That's right.
to
Yeah.
get the different thicknesses.
This is kind of like the old planes, you know, that we used to use in woodwork. Of course, your wife would have a stroke if you did that with one of these. But this will allow it to, you know, to give you different thicknesses. And like she says, you have to really be careful. There's no guard on these things. But they're a lot of fun to use, and it makes such beautiful looking things. All right, go right ahead.
Now, with this cucumber salad, we need to take some salt, and I just kind of pour on, because we'll be washing it off.
Yeah, we wash this after we, but before we eat it, we wash all of that off.
What happens when you put in the salt, it makes it a limp cucumber, and that's what you're looking for.
Makes it limp?
It makes it limp. Water will take out the...
I see.
The water. That's why we do salt steaks, because it takes out the juiciness.
Sure, right.
So we'll kind of massage the salt into the cucumber. and then eventually you'll get some water collected down
All
at the
right.
bottom.
Now we're going to have to put water in it
And
now?
We'll limp it a little bit, and then you can see how it's getting a little bit softer.
All right.
A little
Oh, yeah,
bit.
yeah, it's getting limp. Okay, now
And
what?
then we'll pour in the water.
All right, let me get you some water. Oh, you have water. Okay, a little bit of water there. Now pay attention to this, because a lot of us don't know how to do this type of thing. This is very interesting if you like Oriental food, and today, of course, we're doing Japanese food, real Japanese food. All right, and then what do you do?
We'll rinse this about 2 times.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, can we do that during the break, or do we have to rinse that right now?
Well, we can rinse this right now, and then we can get it into the sauce.
Okay, all right.
And then we'll marinate that.
Okay. You go ahead and dump that out back there. Okay, now she's rinsed almost all of that salt off. There's probably a little salt left in there.
Most of it has been rinsed off.
Okay.
And this is the sauce that you put on.
What do we have in there?
And there's a 1/4 cup of rice vinegar. And rice vinegar is very different. It's a milder vinegar.
Uh-huh.
And there's a 1/4 cup of sugar and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So if
I
you can
see.
remember your quarters, that's what you'll be working with.
Okay, all right.
And then we'll
See how she handles those things?
we'll marinate this and put it in the refrigerator because it is a cold salad.
Okay,
you
I'll
wanna
put that
serve.
back there. Now let's
All
see. What's the next
Now,
thing we're going to
after
do?
When you serve this, you do want to serve it with black sesame seeds.
Oh, I
It's
see.
just-
Here,
it's the white sesame seed comes in black too. It's not
Sure.
burnt.
It probably still has the husk on it then.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the difference
Now see,
between
that's what I knew
Oriental-
about that. I figured she was going to cook them up out here on top of this little grate, but they're already inside of that. This is plenty hot right here. I'll put this in there if you'll go right over here, and you can get that started.
Now with the sesame seed, you kind of rotate it around, and when you hear the popping noise, it's about finished, and you'll have some aroma coming up from the pan also.
Oh, all right. So it's like popcorn, huh?
Kind of. Do you
There-
see the
something's
popping?
going.
There you go. And the
There we
smoke.
are.
And that's finished.
And that's it?
And there's no oil in the pan. It's a dry pan.
I
and that's
see.
ready to go.
Now what is that? That's going to go on our salad.
Right. And you can
Okay.
let it cool.
All right.
and
Then we
the-
can set that aside right now?
The seed does get a little bit fatter once you toast it.
Yeah.
So
I can't see that it popped, you know, like popcorn,
it won't
of course.
pop open.
I see. Okay.
Right. It'll
all
just
right.
kind of, with the
All
white
right.
seed, it'll look a little bit toasted.
Okay. Now you can put that aside. Now what next do we have?
Well, now we're going to get ready for the sukiyaki, the main dish.
Sukiyaki.
And,
do you
that's
happen to remember what sukiyaki means?
Well, actually, suki used to be a tool that farmers used.
I see.
And yaki means to cook or fry
Uh-huh.
foods. And a long time ago, the people used to actually cook sukiyaki on the suki, which is supposedly a spade type of a tool.
Yeah, okay.
A shovel,
all right.
I guess.
All right, okay.
And they would take it over to their
Fire.
fire.
I see.
And they wouldn't have meat in theirs because it was too extravagant of a cost.
Did you bring
So
your
whatever.
shovel today?
Oh, of course. There it is.
Oh, we're a little
So,
more modern.
Yes, modern shovel.
All right, let's get started on this.
Okay. You basically start with a tray.
All right.
And on this tray, we have some of the items, and we'll be adding to it. Here are your dry onions. Dry onions. You
Now,
can
are these
use
just regular onions? These are just plain,
white
everyday
onions,
onions.
yellow, brown onions.
Okay, all right.
And then you have your green onions. And
Let's
you
turn
do
that around here so
separate-
they can see that.
You do separate the bottoms with the tops, and then we have the bamboo shoots.
Bamboo shoots.
And
Show them the
this is
bamboo
a
shoot.
whole bamboo
Let's put that
shoot.
right down here so they can see it. Now, of course, the bamboo shoot is just what it means, you know, bamboo, and then these little shoots come off from the bottom, kind of like a, almost like roots or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I
And
kind of think of it as the bulbs of tulips.
yeah,
even.
okay, I think that's better than
Right.
roots.
So,
All right.
but that's what a whole
Okay,
bamboo shoot
now what
is.
else do we have?
Then we have the meat.
What is this?
And this is, they said it was suet. It's easier to tell once you start frying it if it's suet.
I see.
It's kind of like fat.
Yeah, that's just the
Okay,
fat that
it's
they
the
trim
fat that-
off of the
right.
meat.
And I've kind of arranged it into a rose shape.
Okay.
And then we'll go ahead and explain the meat.
All right, go ahead and...
This is sirloin tip.
Sirloin tip.
And what you do, you'll have to ask the butcher to have this cut for you.
Okay.
And he will slice it across the top of the
Yeah,
portion where
right.
you'll get a good slice like this. And then he will slice it less than an 1/8 inch thick which is kind of unusual for most of the audience probably.
Well, most people in the United States, you know, we eat meat that thick, but the Japanese don't. Theirs is very thinly sliced. Now let's just take and show one of these to them real quick there.
If you take it apart, you'll find...
See, she has that rolled up.
The slices are
and the slices are very thin slices, like that, because you're going to cook this fast, aren't
right,
you? I mean, we don't. She's not going to just sit there and boil that in that. She's going to cook it fast.
Right.
All right. Now, so we've gone over everything. We've got the suet. We've got the green onions. We're going to use the tops too.
We'll use all of this in the tray.
Okay. And what we're going to have to do now is we're going to have to take a little break. Go sell some goods. We're going to be back in about a minute or so. Don't go away. We're going to have some fun today.
My love affair with the Japanese people and their culture started a long time ago when I was a student of Japan in the 1950s. Then later living with a Japanese family, learning how to eat with hashi or chopsticks, here shaking hands with the top man at the Imperial Palace, and then time to pound the drum. These two young Japanese ladies just had to have their picture taken with an Arizona cowboy.
Always were prepared. They survived by their speed. Killing first became the creed, but the gunfighter's code was holsters.
Howdy, partners. This is your old friend Chili Bill with my good buddies here, Juan Baracho and George Gabby Hayes Jr., who just took those falls for you a minute ago, telling you that no Hollywood magic is in this. Western know-how that makes Chili Bill's chili, the authentic, bring you back to life bowl of red made with lean beef and my own championship chili blend. A real palate pleaser. Why don't you give it a try? Well, let's see. I guess I better eat. Oh, there's only one bowl here? Well, we're back, and Nancy's about ready to put everything into the wok. Now, in Japan, do they call this a wok in Japan, or do you know?
Well, this is the spade, the shovel that
This is the shovel. Remember, we were telling you about the shovel. There Nancy was. This is the shovel.
It's
Nancy,
the modern version of the shovel.
we're going to have to get started and roll it now.
Let me go ahead and explain
Okay.
what's going in here.
All right.
This is the napa, and the napa is...
Nata.
Napa.
Napa.
It's a P, and there's Chinese cabbage is another
Chinese
word
cabbage.
for it.
Okay.
And this is what it looks like whole. I've used half of it for our recipe.
See, it's kind of elongated, you know,
right.
compared to our cabbage, which is usually round.
Right, but it has the leafy
Yeah.
sections.
Now,
and the
that's
core.
already in?
This is the hard core part, and we'll be adding the leafy part later
I
on
see.
because the
Okay.
cooking time.
Now, what about the other things we have here?
The bamboo shoots.
Bamboo shoots,
takenoko,
okay.
And then we have the dry onion, which
Dry-
has been cut into the rings.
All right.
And we'll be adding the rest of the ingredients.
All right.
And we keep each of the vegetables in their own area. It's
Yes,
not a
I
stew
know.
that's all stirred together. So we keep all the onions together. We keep shoving things to the side so everything, all of these ingredients will fit into here.
Smells good.
And we'll be adding some of the sauce that I'll be talking about.
Now, you already
in a
have
minute.
sauce in here.
There's some sauce in here. I add sauce each time. I started with the onions, added sauce, added the bamboo shoots and the cabbage, and added a little bit more sauce.
What's in your sauce?
Well,
You better tell me.
my trusty recipe.
Oh, there we go. See? She uses a recipe.
Couldn't do without it.
All right.
We have 1 cup soy sauce,
All right.
shoyu,
Shoyu.
and 1 cup sake. Now, sake can be substituted with sherry.
Sherry.
Right. And then we have 3/4 cup sugar. And that's just all combined
Just plain
together.
sugar?
Plain sugar.
Doesn't have to be brown sugar or anything
no,
like
plain
that.
old sugar.
Plain
And
old
you kind
sugar.
of
Okay.
Shake it up and dissolve the sugar, and that's ready to go.
Okay, that's your
A
sauce.
little fancy container.
Oh, yeah. That
Has
looks...
sake in it, so we put it in a sake container.
Okay, that's the sake there. And
And
that's
then-
the sauce, right?
This is the
That's
sauce
the sauce.
mixed up
Okay,
with the
all right.
soy sauce. And then we'll go ahead
Here we
and
go.
continue adding the rest of the items. Now, depending on how well you want your meat, I usually cook it medium to medium rare. So you add it a little bit later after some of these ingredients have gotten
Right, now
in.
remember, this is the meat that's real thin cut. You know, about,
Right.
what'd you say, about 1/8 of an inch
Less
maybe?
than an 1/8 inch thick,
Yeah.
and it was rolled up.
And
I
the butcher
loosened
had
it
to
up.
do that for us today.
Right. And the butcher will be offers a good service to you by doing that for you. We'll be adding the rest of the ingredients. This is the shirataki.
Shirataki.
It's a Japanese yam noodle.
Yam noodles.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll show you a carton that came in, and this is the Japanese tofu.
Okay.
The soybean curd that some people consider it a cheese.
Yeah, that's the cheese.
So we'll be adding all of these ingredients.
All right, let's get going on it now. Nancy, they tell me that you're a teacher. That's right?
Yes, I've taught kindergartners for about 14 years
14
now.
years?
And I'm going to be a veteran. Well,
You don't look that old.
I guess maybe I could be considered a veteran at Oriental cooking, since I've been doing that since I was yay high.
That big, yes. I know your father, you know.
Yes.
Very well, from a long time ago. And, of course, you were probably fairly small in those days, about 25, 30 years ago, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Trying to show my age, too, huh?
All right, here we go. Now, what are you going to add now? Let's see how she handles those sticks.
Green onion can go on the side because it takes a little bit less cooking time, and the cooking element is towards the base of the pot.
I see. All right.
So we can put that to the edge.
Now, you're putting in the tips also, right?
Yes, all of it together. And then we'll go ahead and start adding the meat.
Now, you just stack all of this around?
Right. With the wok, it's real nice because you can push things up on the side. It has worked in just a regular electric skillet also.
All right.
And we'll be pushing things up on the side and adding the meat in this section. And if you notice when I was showing you the tray earlier, we tried to combine or lay the food in the tray so it's colorfully displayed.
Everything that you people do is colorful. And, you know, all your food always looks so gorgeous, you almost hate to dive into it and mess it up.
The Japanese try to eat with their eyes instead of their stomach.
That's right.
If you've heard that before, I'm sure. And we'll go ahead and...
You're a, don't you also teach at college in Phoenix?
I teach at Phoenix College.
Phoenix College.
Usually in the fall, sometimes.
This type of cooking or what?
It's Oriental cooking, which includes Chinese as well as the Japanese.
Chinese?
Well, my husband had a real good background in Chinese, although he's Japanese, so I took advantage of him.
Yeah, your husband's from Hawaii, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
he
so,
taught me.
And don't you do a little Korean type of cooking too?
I do some Korean. I'm not as experienced in that area. I picked up some.
Is it that much different than the
little bit
Japanese?
Different. It's similar, like from Chinese to Japanese.
Yeah.
A little bit different spices, but basically about the same.
Look at the color. Isn't that pretty? All of a sudden, she starts stacking this all up around the edges here. And these hashis, or sticks that you're using, these are for cooking.
Well, basically, they're cooking. You wouldn't need these long for eating.
Yeah, for eating. They're a little bit shorter. We'll show you those in a little while when we get ready to eat some of this great food. All right, go ahead and finish that up there.
Before we add anything else, I'm going to add some more
sauce. A little more sauce.
To make sure all the food is seasoned well.
Now, what type of a meal would this be? Would this be kind of like a Sunday type meal for the Japanese? This is a special meal.
This is a little, it'd be like a Sunday dinner meal.
Yeah.
A little bit more formal.
Sure.
But
everybody sits around the table, and if I remember right, we serve out of this, don't we?
Right. Normally, this is a meal that's cooked right at the table.
Sure.
And as people eat the food and there's not enough, more food is added.
Yeah, and if I remember right, we used to have to turn our sticks around when we went into the pot,
right?
Right. Okay.
So that your germs wouldn't.
That's right.
But anyway, so we'll let this cook, and we'll add the leafy part of the Chinese cabbage right towards the end.
Toward the end.
And
all right. Now, what we have everything in now. And when are you going to put the tips in, or
we can go ahead and add them now.
All right.
And let me go ahead and explain about some of those unusual ingredients.
Yeah, why don't you kind of explain a little bit? You know, most of the people here probably wouldn't understand everything that we've put in here. Why don't you go over that one more time here and just tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. The tofu is bought in the cold section, possibly in the Oriental Deli section.
Yeah.
And you can find it. This is how it can be bought in the Phoenix area.
I see. So
tofu.
It comes in a package, and this package is. I think I've found this in the vegetable sections, maybe sometimes.
I've seen it in the vegetable produce sections. And normally, when tofu is bought, you can't find a date for freshness. It's very lightly written there. So you can buy according to the date, just like eggs and milk.
Yeah. And this is actually soybeans.
Right.
that they run through some type of process. I'm not sure what it is.
I'm not sure either, but
and it comes out looking almost like a white cheese. We use a goat cheese out of Mexico in a lot of the Mexican cooking that we do, and it looks kind of like goat cheese, really.
They also talk about being kind of custardy.
A custardy, yeah, well.
Without the sweetness.
Don't they have ice cream made out of that stuff
yes.
now? I think they do.
Oh, foodie. There you
is
go.
That yeah, I haven't tried it yet. I'd really like to try it. Yeah. All right, what's next?
And then we also have the shirataki noodles. Those are the yam noodles I had mentioned.
All right, that's the little noodle that she had here. Right. That's the shirataki noodles, right? And they come wet. I mean, they're not dried.
They're in the carton with water, as well as the tofu is soaked in water.
I see.
And you want to kind of drain both of those.
All right.
And then we have the bamboo shoots, which I showed you earlier as a whole piece. There's one cut up, and you can buy it in a can. Wellpack is one company. There's other companies. But I do suggest the whole bamboo shoot versus
and then
the
you cut them up.
one.
Yeah, and then you cut them up, sure.
Right, because the ones cut up are kind of flavorless.
Oh, I see. So yeah, sure. They lose some of the juices and so forth. Yeah, right.
So we have the meat, the green onion, the onion,
everything's ready.
And
then
we'll add the leafy.
We're going to add that pretty quick.
Right.
And then we cover it again. And how long would you say that we're going to cook this before we eat? Now, because this really is not cooked, we can see that.
Right.
So
we can move it towards the center.
Oh, I see. Just start moving it toward the center now, then, huh?
But,
all right.
It's basically done when your meat is to the desired flavor that you want.
Okay.
We'll probably go for another 5-10 minutes for medium.
All right. We're going to have to take a break again. The sponsors are calling us. And we'll be back in about a minute or so, and we're going to try some of this great food. Don't go away.
Caramba, somebody stole my caballo. Don't I know you from some places?
That's Chili Bill Brooks. We're doing a man-on-the-street interview, and we'd like your opinion of this.
Smells like chili.
That is chili. That's authentic Jack Creek chili.
Where can I get some of this good chili?
You'll find authentic Jack Creek chili at the Golden Carriage Pancake House in San Simeon, at Appliance and Sound in Paso Robles, and at any fine general store, emporium, or trading post. And if they don't have it, ask for it.
See?
Oh boy, this sure looks good. I'm ready to go, Nancy.
Well, let me serve you.
All right.
As you know, in Japan, the man is always served first.
Okay.
And as you can see, each item is still in their separate places. And you will serve it the same when you put it on the dish.
All right. You can just give me a little bit of each in there. It'll be just fine. That's good.
A
little bit of noodles. Got to put some noodles on there. What's the matter? Won't they come apart? There you go. That's all right. I'll dig into those noodles in just a second here. And I see that you've gotten me a beautiful set of hashis here to use myself. There you go. That's good enough. Okay, that's great. Oh, that's good looking. That's good looking. And we've got a raw egg here too, huh?
Yes, traditionally the Japanese kind of scramble.
Yeah, I know. Scramble that egg up. A little shoyu in there. Let's see. This is the shoyu over here. All right, you better start serving. What did we top this with? We put a little bit of. This is the salad. Okay, black sesame seed on that. Oh, what a beautiful thing here.
A little bit of sesame salt also.
All right, sesame salt on that. Right, okay, you better start serving yourself. And you know, Nancy also, she does demonstrations and so forth, and at home. And if you want to learn how to make good Japanese food, you can call 602-997-1236. She'll teach you how to make this good food. Let's eat. Oh, I can't wait. Sayonara.
This was brought to you from John Wayne's 26 Bar Ranch in Eager, Arizona.